So a while back, all seafood was local, right? And it wasn't caught from very far. And the industry globalized, right? And for a while, the seafood industry operated almost like the Wizard of Oz behind a curtain, and nobody really knew what was going on. And things have changed, and people are looking for food that they know where it's coming from, right? And one thing that standards do for us is they allow us to transparently state what our expectations are, moving the dark curtain and bringing it into the light and making an industry that is more transparent and clearly demonstrating how you can achieve a certain level of sustainability and what your expectations are.
No, I'm not ignorant to the fact that aquaculture farming has sort of a negative stigmatism to it. But when you see the farms and you see the location they're at today, we're dealing with Wellfleet Harbor that's produced oysters for thousands of years. You're dealing with a water source that's tested biweekly, monthly, annually. Every farm is being, checked for sanitation standards. So we're constantly testing our water, checking the resource. Recently, Massachusetts was one of 2 states in the United States that was deemed to have Class A waters by the EU. You can say you're doing something, and you can write records all day long that say you're doing something. But unless someone's coming in and putting eyes on it and ensuring you're doing it, it doesn't have any skin in the game. It really doesn't have any merit. So the third-party audit we have for Whole Foods, what it really does, again, is it holds these oysters and these farmers to a higher standard.
So to create new standards, we start out with doing a lot of research, right? So we look at the published literature, the science that's out there, and we want to get the input from the people that are experts on the ground. So we'll talk with farmers, we'll talk with scientists, we'll talk with environmental groups. We'll get lots of input on what people are seeing out there and what are the best practices out there, what are the things to avoid. As the industry is changing and evolving, we have to stay on top of things, and we try to make sure that we are learning as we go and not just standing still.
We started growing for Whole Foods at least 30 years ago. They push for quality, and that's what we want to produce. I have to praise Whole Foods in their production policies of no antibiotics. Having fish in Whole Foods means we've got the best fish in the country, and we're proud of that.
As I've grown up, I've kind of understood more and more what sustainability means and what kind of Whole Foods values are. And so working with the Whole Foods Standards has really kind of helped me in this position because it's what I would want to do anyway. In order to keep our fish happy and healthy, a lot of that is just what's required by Whole Foods. And it also works as a great kind of training method for when we get new people, and I can just train them right into the Whole Foods method and make them better fish culturists.
It's also really important to make the connection with the people who are growing the food that's sold in our stores, right? As we get to know them and we connect with them, we develop deeper appreciation for what they're doing, and we can help the people that work in our stores to make that connection as well. I'm on a team of experts that work in various areas to develop standards for the food and products that we sell at Whole Foods Market. It's very, I think, unique and unusual. The in-house expertise allows our team to kind of really be on top of what's going on and to be able to understand not only the science and the policy, but also the language of fishermen and the industry, being able to speak to fishermen and farmers and scientists and environmental groups, and to have the connections with all these different stakeholders. That's I think a really useful thing as we dive into issues that come up in the industry.